outside. The double green is in the air, and we are underway. Demers leads them down into turn number 1. Here comes Brian Chu, already challenging up on the outside.
You can hear the power of these cars as they make their way down the straightaway, still 2 by 2. As the number 86 automobile of Dennis Demers showing the way, but a great challenge put on by Chu as they make their way down the back straightaway. Great challenge also being put up by Olsen as he comes up behind Demers' automobile.
Already some great racing going on here is Kovalek. He knows how to run the outside here. He showed that last year, and already 2 laps in, he's already showing that as he's now working up the outside early in the event. Kovalek with car number 40, he's on his way to the front.
It looks like Mike Olsen trying to put the nose of the little trees, 61 on the inside, trying to add to that point total. He is the leader here in the Busch North Series Championship Drive in 2001, wants to be the leader of this race.
In the meanwhile, further on back, Tracy Gordon with car number 14, the Tic-Tac entry now. He'll follow the tire tracks of Kelly Moore off of turn number 2. But right there as well is car number 7. That is the 7 of Paul Richardson as they are in a heated battle off of turn 4.
Kovalek and Shaw, of course, Shaw, your pole winner today, is they're side by side back there battling it out for the 5th spot on the speedway. They're going to be coming up right behind the 99 of Greg Schaefer of Hatboro, Pennsylvania. One of those drivers will try to get around that 99, holding up the back of the pack as our 3 leaders begin to put some separation between them and the rest of the field.
Well, look at the battle for about the 6th position. The gentleman who got the Bud Pole Award earlier today, Dale Shaw, finds himself up in the 6th position, but knocking on his door is another veteran in this series, and we all know who we're referring to. That is that machine, car number 56. Of course, Martin Truex Jr. Of course, we all remember his dad when he ran on the NASCAR Busch North Series. Of course, he also ran in some modifieds event in the New Jersey area as well. But right now, Dennis Demers, he had fast time last year, but right now he shows the way to the number 61 of Mike Olsen, the Little Trees entry.
Well, Kovalek has the 2-time Busch North Series champion on his tail right now. That's Brad Layton making his way towards the front of the pack. He and Dave Dion, another great veteran of the Busch North Series, are about side by side as they make their way by the Budweiser Bud Light scoreboard. Side by side action as they're moving up towards the front of the pack.
And then meanwhile, further on back, Matt Kovalek now, instead of working the outside, he's starting to work to the inside as now he finds himself in the 7th position. Further on back, Tracy Gordon, the Tic-Tac machine, still following the tire tracks of Kelly Moore. These drivers right now, Mark, are being very, very patient. That's why we're seeing them kind of nose to tail right now, because it's early on. They don't want to get themselves in trouble trying to challenge for a position this early in the event.
Right. Still plenty of racing left to go. 13 laps out of the total amount of laps that they're going to have to run. 150 laps tonight will be put on by these drivers. And as you mentioned before, last week at Stafford, quite a few incidents on the speedway. They're trying to cut down on that here at the Waterford Speedbowl.
And especially on a shorter track like this. Of course, Stafford is a half-mile speedway. This is a 3/8-mile speedway. And, you know, when something happens here, it happens in a hurry. But right now, what's happening in a hurry, Dennis Demers shows the way to Mike Olsen. Brian Chu runs 3rd. Dale Shaw runs 4th. And Martin Truex Jr. runs there in the top 5. Running in 6th is Matt Cobra. He is being very, very smart right now. He's running all by himself. There's no one really in front of him and no one really behind him. He's in a nice, safe position on the speedway.
Thing is to stay out of trouble, stay in the race. And of course, this is a long, long race. The Left Turn University 150 here at the Waterford Speedbowl, celebrating the launching of our new program here at the Speedbowl, our new driving school.
Further on back, car number 96, Mike Johnson, still content where he's running. He's running right now, we're about in the 20th position, but still having a strong run. Like we said, it's still early. Nobody wants to do anything crazy. They want to bring their car back with all the fenders and quarter panels on it.
Great battle going on between two folks from the Granite State. That's Dave Dion and Brad Layton, of course, both from New Hampshire out there. They've been running side by side, about the only two on the track, and have been doing that all night. And it looks like Dion with a nice move as he puts that 29 to the high side of the track, catching Layton behind the 99 of Greg Schaefer. So that's how Dion does it, running in a little bit of traffic, if you will, here early in the race.
And Dave Dion, he's another one of those drivers, been around a long, long time. Of course, that's a family-run operation. His brother is the crew chief. They build their own race cars. They build their own engines, and they've had a lot of success on the NASCAR Busch North Series. And, of course, Dave Dion is a former champion as well.
Out of Hudson, New Hampshire, of course, one of the great racing spots in New England, of course, many years, one of the great short tracks in the upper part of New England. Of course, here they are right now, running, as we mentioned before, the 86 automobile of Dennis Demers, a Shelburne, Vermont native in the Wayland Shelburne Limestone Chevrolet.
Of course, Dave Dion was the 1996 Busch North Series champion. And right now, Dave Dion very content in where he is running. Further on back, caution. First caution of the evening. Jamie Albee in car number 67. Green flag conditions. Dennis Demers and Mike Olson will bring him back down. Billy Ryder looks the field over. Green flag is back up in the air, and we are back underway. Demers has the advantage down low, but here comes Mike Olson up on the outside. But look who's right there as well. Car number 60, the gentleman who set fast time today, Dale Shaw, finds himself there in the third spot. Brian Chew is fourth. Martin Truex now is in a heated battle for fifth.
Martin Truex, of course, a great young driver out of the Garden State of New Jersey, trying to bring that automobile up through the pack. That's 56. Matt Kovaluk now making a move with the number 40 on the outside from right here in our own backyard. Wanted to put on a great show in front of the fans. He thrilled for so many nights here at the Waterford Speedbowl. He's moving that 40 towards the front.
So wherever you look on the speedway, we got a lot of slicing and dicing going on. Dale Quarterly with the Lando Lakes Chevrolet now. He's starting to work up to the outside of Tracy Gordon midway down the back straightaway. That's a good battle right there. But let's keep our eye on Carrie Heath. She's driving the Aubuchon Hardware Chevrolet car number 04. So far, she's having a great run. And I think right now, Mark, what she's looking for is some seat time.
Definitely looking for the seat time. That's a great sponsorship out of the state of New Hampshire out there, and she's going to show us what she can do in that particular automobile. Elliott Main driver Carrie Heath, Aubuchon Hardware Chevrolet. So we mentioned at the top of the race, 20 Chevrolet automobiles are dominating the lineup here tonight. 3 Pontiacs and 4 Fords doing battle on the speedway.
Well, further on back, another car to keep your eye on is Matt Kovaluk right now, being very patient in the early stages of this event. He's in a battle right now with Dave Dion. Dion is working up to the outside with his Ford. Kovaluk runs down low. Now, you know what's weird, Mark? Right at the start of the race, we saw Matt Kovaluk running the outside and was doing very well. Right now, he's content running down to the inside.
I think maybe that's the idea. Maybe they want to test to see where that car runs the best. Albee looks like he's a little bit loose as he was coming out of turn number 4 in that 67 automobile. If you look up aerodynamics in the dictionary, his picture will not be there. You can see the damage to the front of the 67.
So right now, Dennis Demers is still in command. Now, Mike Olson, who was up there challenging just back a few laps ago, he's falling back to about the 5th position.
I think, again, they're running a cautious race. There's a lot of racing left to go out here this evening, and I think they're just going to drop it back. They're keeping in contact with the front runners out there, but he's back there trying to conserve that 61. Dan Verderam has a report.
Well, guys, there might be a problem in the 32 of Dale Quarterly. I was just talking to his crew chief. He thinks he might have a flat tire. They will bring him in on the first caution. Back to you guys.
So that's the story on that machine.
Dan Verderam working the pits here and working through about a second pair of tennis shoes of the day as he's been covering it all day.
But right now, we're going to have a battle for the number 1 spot, Mark. If you keep your eye on car number 60, Dale Shaw has now caught Dennis Demers, and that will be the battle for the number 1 spot. Dale Shaw, very very talented driver now, will test the waters up on the outside. And a lot of the drivers I talked to earlier said that they wanted to test that outside. I didn't think it would be this early in the event, but Dale Shaw feels very confident with his guaranteed overnight delivery Chevrolet now as he'll step out of line and try to look for some racing room. But he thought better of it. Now he'll try to work to the inside.
Well, of course, they want to go to the outside where they still have those tires relatively fresh. You're 43 laps into the 150-lap event. So that's the time to do it. And, of course, Dale Shaw doing it right now, putting the move on Demers on the outside as they make their way past the restart line. Coming back towards the start-finish line, Dale Shaw will put this one in the books in the lead.
Well, I'll tell you, two cars pretty much evenly matched, Mark, is because Dennis Demers is strong down low, but it looks like horsepower is going to have the advantage when they enter turn number 3. So Dale Shaw will now officially take over the lead. Dennis Demers is second, Brian Chu is third, Martin Truex is fourth, Dave Dion runs fifth, Kip Stockwell there in sixth, Mike Olson there in seventh, and the Byrne Brothers Chevrolet Brad Layton runs there in the 8th spot.
Dale Shaw has had a hot rod all day, and he's showing off for us right now as he and Demers put some separation between they and the rest of the field. Of course, Travis Benjamin in the 93 has been lapped by our leaders, and that Irving sponsored car dropping back off the pace a little bit as Brian Chu in the 09 currently running in third puts him down a lap as he makes his way down the back straightaway.
And one car receiving the black flag. We don't quite know who that.
Not sure if that was Eddie McDonald or perhaps the 04 of Miss Carrie Heath.
And it is the Carrie Heath machine as she now pulls that car down on the service road. We'll check in on that story. I know Dan Verderam will catch up with the crew members of the Carrie Heath machine, car number 04, and we'll find out what the problem is. But now I can see there is some steam coming from underneath the hood of that car, so possibly an overheating problem on car number 04. And I know, Mark, last year we saw that in this event. A lot of cars overheated.
That's a tough thing for Carrie Heath coming all the way down here. Of course, Obashan Hardware, a great sponsor for her, but I don't think we've seen the last of her either this evening or during the rest of the season. A great competitor.
So in the meanwhile, 51 laps are now into the books, and your leader, the gentleman who set fast time, Dale Shaw, shows the way here in the left turn, University 150. Let's check in with Dan Verderam.
I just spoke with the crew chief of the 04 of Carrie Heath. They said the car has overheated and they're going to bring her in. Back to you.
So you heard the report from Dan on that situation.
Great action on the track as Dale Shaw continues to be on a rail. Has that 60 dialed in. That's a guaranteed overnight delivery automobile. And he's doing a great job showing what he can do with that car as he will now encounter more of that traffic. He's being closely followed by Demers. Brian Chu in the 09, and of course that 56 automobile that we talked about, Martin Truex Jr. Gary, there's a young driver to keep an eye on.
As we told you, his dad had a lot of success when he ran modifieds, and he also had some success when he ran on the NASCAR Busch North Series. But right now, he just enjoys watching his son wheel that machine. And I'll tell you, he's had some good, strong runs on the NASCAR Busch North Series. But right now, it is still car number 60 of Dale Shaw, who continues to show the way. Second is car number 86 for Dennis Demers, as now they are starting to come into some slower traffic, and I'll tell you, they're coming into it very, very quickly, Mark, and this should be quite interesting as we're almost 60 laps into the book, and already they are going to start to lap some very, very good cars.
There's a great battle going on, Gary, back there between Tracy Gordon and Kelly Moore. Kelly Moore in that Napa automobile, Tracy Gordon in the Tic Tac car, the number 14. Kelly Moore puts the 14 behind his back bumper, that Napa automobile, as now he makes his way towards Brad Layton. Of course, Kelly Moore on a roll in 2001, coming off the win last week in Stafford, trying to make it 2 in a row.
In the meanwhile, further on back, Matt Colbuck now has switched from the inside to run up to the outside. Feels very, very comfortable there. As now he will work to the outside of that machine to the inside there, as he will make the pass on the number 9 machine, pulling along Brian Wall with him as well. Now you see that Billy Ryder up on the flags now. What he's doing with the other flag there that you saw, the blue flag, is telling the leader that the slower cars that the leaders are coming, get out of the way, don't try to get involved with them. And you can see he's also using the yellow flag as well to give them that signal to push over. But in the meanwhile, it is still car number 60 who continues to show strength here in the Left Turn University 150. Dennis Demers runs second. And then there in the third spot, a gentleman having a great run tonight.
16.
That is car number 16 for Kip Stockwell. Let's go down for this report. We'll get back to Dan on that report. And meanwhile, there's still some good action wherever you look on the speedway. Mike Olson, very content right now where he's running. But I'll tell you, with this rate of speed, with only one yellow mark, we're going to see a lot of cars in danger of going down a lap or possibly two.
No question about it, as these cars continue to be dialed in. A tremendous run by Dale Shaw. Tip of the cap has to go out to his crew today, as not only did they win the Bud Pole, but right now they're winning this part of the battle. 66 laps showing on the scoreboard for our leader Dale Shaw.
Yeah, Dale Shaw, I'll tell you, he's absolutely got a strong race car here tonight. He showed that in Bud Pole qualifying. And right now, he's showing it in feature time. Matt Colbuck drifted way up in turn number 4 with the Mohegan Sun entry. So possibly a problem on that machine. We'll keep our eye on that. Dan Verderam will check in with the crew of Matt Colbuck, the driver of the Mohegan Sun, and find out exactly what is going on there.
Well, keep an eye on that as he goes through the turns. We'll want to focus on that. A great local driver, as you said, cut his teeth right here at the Waterford Speedbowl before moving up to the Busch North Series, and a beautifully prepared number 40.
So Dennis Demers is right on the back bumper cover of the guaranteed overnight delivery. And I think Dennis Demers has something to deliver to the Dale Shaw machine. As now he's going to challenge there in turn number 3. Took a peek down to the inside, thought better of it. And meanwhile, they're running side by side down in turn number 1. Slower car. The 24 machine is right there in front of them. And we'll see what happens here. Dale Shaw now will split the car. He'll go up to the outside, but Dennis Demers, smart choice there. He'll follow the tire tracks of the guaranteed overnight delivery number 60 of Dale Shaw.
Beautiful move by Dale Shaw, but once again, Demers out there with a challenge. Our last 2 Bud Pole winners battling it out for the lead here. Looks like Demers might have the advantage. Puts that car in front.
And meanwhile, Paul Richardson has brought his car down on the service road, so another problem for the Georgetown, Massachusetts driver, Paul Richardson. Let's check in with Dan Verderam.
Gary, thank you very much. I checked in with the crew chief of the Ford machine, Matt Colbuck. He said everything's fine, just a little changes need to be made, but things are improving.
So that's the story there. In the meanwhile, 74 laps have been completed. As you look at the Budweiser, Bud Light, NASCAR Weekly Racing Series scoreboard, you can see our top 4 machines are listed on there. The 86 of Demers, the 60 of Dale Shaw, the 16 of Stockwell, and the 09 of Brian Chew, your top 4 machine. Now,